WolfGxngDon, never lagging. 2K bills to the fraction, breaking it down to the pound, puts news and views on tips to get you cracking. It don't stop till we on top, boy, brick by brick, we gotta build. Give a like and drop a sub, this WolfGxngDon, you know it's real. Never chill, sauce it up, we stacking, getting bills. Peep the traction, getting badges, 2K champ, this how it feels. This the dawn, yeah, running it up, no time to play. You know what's on, yeah, the greatest builds inside 2K.
What is good, YouTube? It's your boy Don back here with another banger for y'all boys, man. I got y'all with one of the most dominant post-scoring builds that you are going to see so far, man. I really went ahead and made y'all a crazy build this time. So I got y'all with 7 foot, 240 pounds, 7'6" wingspan, and the body shape is completely up to you. It does not matter. I just went with solid, just to go with solid, man. You do what makes you happy. Now, first things first, we're going with this close shot. We're going to take this up to a 90, so you already know this build is going to be crazy at finishing. And we're going to go ahead and cover the badges towards the end of the video, but just so you know, you already see that fast switch on gold. That is one of the most important badges to this build, so make sure if you do change anything, you make sure you put that fast switch on. It'll change your life on this build. So we got a 90 for the close shot, a 79 for the driving layup. We're going crazy with the driving dunk. We're gonna take this up to an 86. Now for the standing dunk, we're going high with this one as well. We're going with a 90, so you'll be able to drive and dunk, use that posterizer, but more importantly, you will be able to use rise up, and that is one of the most important badges along with fast switch. I would highly suggest putting on both of those and using them to the best of your ability, man. And for post control, we're gonna take this high as well, up to an 88, because we need that drop stepper on Hall of Fame. And if you want, you can use that back down punisher on Hall of Fame. I'm trying to make this build so dominant in the post that it just cannot be stopped. For the mid range, we're gonna go with an 80, because you don't just want to be able to dunk, man. You're gonna need some post fades, you're gonna need some spin shots. You're gonna have to have a really deep bag to be able to use this build. Now for the free throw, we're gonna take this up to a 72. So I like to go around 70, but on these bigs, man, you want to make sure you can definitely hit these free throws, man. You're going to be going to the line quite a bit on this build. Now for the pass accuracy, we're gonna take this up to a 78, man. We got to make sure that this build can pass out of those situations where you might be tightly contested. You got to get that ball out to your teammates so they can make a play. So for the ball handler, we're gonna take this up to a 51. While I don't plan on dribbling a lot, I do plan on being able to use this build to be able to, you know, maybe get a blow by every now and then. You do have those contact dunks you can put limitless on. There's a few different things you can do with this build. This build is going to be filthy on the break. Now for the interior defense, I'm gonna take this up to an 85 on a big. Honestly, I would suggest if you want to change something about this build, you can drop the perimeter defense down to an 80 and it will still be pretty solid. So, I mean, the interior defense, you can drop that down to an 80. I'm gonna leave perimeter defense alone as well as still, but we will be taking the block up to an 87. Gotta make sure we get that silver anchor. Anchor, one of the most important badges on the game this year. Now for the offensive rebound, we take this up to a 70. And you do need that on this build just because, let's say you miss. You need to be able to get your own board, because a lot of the post scoring in this game is pretty easy. I'm not gonna even lie to you, it's pretty easy. This build is probably overkill, but I'm trying to make the most dominant build I could make and in the post. So, but with that being said, once people go ahead and contest your shot, let's say they jump, they probably don't have pogo on, so they're not gonna be able to get back in order to get the ball again. So that offensive rebound to help you out, recovering some of the times where, you know, you have to get the ball back. So for perimeter defense, I'm gonna take this up just a little bit to a 43, just because when we start adjusting these other stats down in the physicals, it's gonna take it up there anyway. So let's just go ahead and do it ourselves. Now for the speed, we're gonna take this up to a 72, aka max it out. For the acceleration, I'm only taking this up to a 60. For the strength, we want this build to have plenty of strength. We're gonna take the strength up to an 86. For the vertical, we can take the vertical up to a 75. We need it to get some nice dunk animations, to be able to catch some nice contact oops. There's a few things that comes with that vertical that you're gonna want to make sure that you do have. Now last but not least, we're gonna take the stamina up, and we get a 94 for the stamina. And I actually took perimeter defense up a little too high, so we're gonna drop that down one to get a 95 for the stamina. And for that last point, we just go ahead and put it on the free throw, and now the build is complete. We got 27 finishing, 11 shooting, 10 playmaking, and 22 defense. But let's go ahead and talk about these takeovers, man. So for the takeovers, we get rim protecting, glass cleaning, and post move takeovers, man. In all honesty, I would go with post shot daggers. I feel like this Kareem Abdul-Jabbar build is going to be crazy with post shot daggers, but make sure you get something that can help you out on the interior. I feel like interior badge drop is probably the best shot blocking, shot affecting, whatever you want to call it, rim protecting takeover that you could possibly get. But all right, let's go ahead and look at these shades of, because this build goes absolutely crazy. So first we got shades of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. We got Clint Capella and Rudy Gobert, and it comes out as a two-way inside the arc scorer, a very unique name. And last but not least, let's get into those badges, because what is a build without the badges? But make sure, as I always like to say, that your badges do match your playstyle. I'll say it again, make sure those badges match your playstyle. Let's get right into it. Sorry, man, in order to make this build the most dominant post scorer it could possibly be, you have to set your badges up, I would say, at least similar to this. I mean, if you don't do like drop steps for some weird reason, then you don't have to put that on. But Dream Shake and all that other stuff are super important to this build. But we got Rise Up Chord on tier 3. And you got to make sure you have this, man. This is probably one of the most important badges on this build, point blank period. And it has to be paired with fast twitch. Both of those two things that help you beat the defense as far as like getting shots up quickly in order, and like before they can contest them and everything. I would highly suggest having those two on. Those two are the non-negotiables. Now back down Punisher. This badge is important, but it has to have vice grip as well, but we'll get into that when we talk about the playmaking badges. Drop stepper, this is one of the easiest moves that is going to get you open consistently in this game. If you don't know how to drop step, please get into 2KU, learn how to drop step. It'll change your life on these big man builds. Now we got posterizer on silver. Postman technician doesn't necessarily have to be on. You can do whatever you feel like you need to do in order to make this build, fit your playstyle. You can put it on fearless, acrobat, slithery, whichever you want. And Dream Shake is just one of those badges that I feel like has to be on a Kareem type build, because if you can get these hooks down, you can get people with these fakes, you have a chance of actually stunning them with like fakes and stuff like that. But for shooting, this isn't like super important, but blinders is just one of those badges that'll help you on those post fades, get some of that contest to not matter as much, because on post fades, most of the time it's going to be contested at least a little bit, and I think blinders will be able to help you out a lot. Green Machine, you already know what this badge does. It's important to every build that shoots, every build that uses a jump shot, you're going to need Green Machine. Midi Magician is all about those post fades. You have to be able to hit those consistently in order to make the defense respect that. And just you shooting from the mid-range, that'll help you out a lot. And Volume Shooter goes without saying. Volume Shooter, one of the best badges in the game, point blank period, for any build. I would always suggest having this as high as you can get it, unless you're trying to save badge points in order to get a different badge. Now for playmaking, like I said earlier, vice grips, you're going to need this, because when you're backing down, a lot of those small guards are going to come in for those steals. That'll help you not lose the ball when you're in the paint as much. Quick first step, we all know what that's for. Now break starter, this is one of those badges that you will need to have on if you're going to be a competitive big man, because you're going to need to get the ball down the court quickly, and break starter is the only way that you can make sure that you aren't throwing just crazy out of bounds passes, or you're not pushing people out of bounds with your passes. Make sure you put break starter on. And floor general, that was literally just because I had an extra badge. If you want to do something else with it, do your thing. Now for defense and rebounding, this is where I would put those extra badges if you feel like you need more defense. If you don't, then I mean, you can use them anywhere, but this is probably where I would use my extra badges. And when I say use my extra badges, I mean all of them. So we got Rebound Chaser on gold. We got Pogo, not on right now, but if you find yourself jumping a lot, or you find yourself in a lot of situations where you maybe contest a shot and you can't really recover in order to get the rebound, I would highly suggest putting it on to help you out a lot. Brick Wall on bronze. Anchor on silver. Box Out Beast, we got this on gold. You may not need it this high. Typically builds with higher strength don't need Box Out Beast as high as other builds, but play around with it, get to silver, see how you feel about it. I personally like to run it on gold just because it makes me feel better. Then we got Post Lockdown. I feel like you're gonna need this. A lot of bigs are doing all those pump fakes, trying to drop step. This will just help you fight back just a little bit. We got interceptor on. Y'all already know what that's for. Interceptor to help you get those passing lanes. And then we got off ball pass to kind of help you cut off those defenders when they're trying to get those free runs to the goal. We only get it on bronze. Usually I like to run it a little bit higher, but that is what it is. If you want the badge higher, you're gonna have to put your perimeter defense up a little bit. But that's pretty much it for me, man. I'm gonna go ahead and slide on out here. But before you do, make sure you do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and check out some of my other videos on the channel. I got them broken down into playlists, so that'll help you navigate the type of build you're looking for just a little bit better. But it's your boy Don, and I'm up out of here. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.
Piling paper, got them talking nice to me. Down the bottle, it be going right through me. Brown baby, down to take a flight to me. They think that I'm stunting, but it's slight to me. Piling paper, got them talking nice to me. Guess that's why the